Hello, we're revisiting the Toyota RAV4 Prime. This is an SE edition. Specifically, I'm answering some of the questions about the bitter cold and how it reacts to it. I did another video where there was a lot of snow and stuff, but I definitely wanted to address the heating problem since I'm getting a lot of emails, I'm seeing a lot of questions online about it. So let's address that. So this is a plug-in, which means that it does have an autonomy in the summer, roughly 70 to 80 kilometers. When it gets to the winter, however, you're down to, if you're lucky, 50, 60, and if it gets very, very cold, it drops from there. So what we're doing is I'm going to show you a bit of driving around and what the odometer is showing you, but the basics of it is it does heat until a certain level. If the temperature drops too much, then the heat pump will not really be efficient, and the engine will turn on. So the gasoline engine turns on at that point. What that means is a lot of people are complaining they can't use it in EV mode. It is true that if you try to leave it in EV mode, what happens is if you turn on the heat, the motor will kick in. However, it does consume less, from what I've been able to test, less fuel than if you put it in HV mode straight. So instead of doing, for example, 6 liters, you might be doing still 5, maybe 5.5. You'll be doing a bit less anyways, using it that way. It is frustrating for some of you, I understand, if you buy an EV and you're expecting it to run in electric mode most of the time, but it is what it is. I mean, either you're going to freeze or you want some heat. There's also a heated steering and there's heated seats. This is a Canadian SE, and I believe that they're all like that. You've got not only the heated seats standard in the SE and of course the higher end models, but also on the rear seats for the 2021. The 2022 drops the heated seats in the back. You only get them standard in the front. Okay, so I just got to destination. I drove roughly 87 kilometer. I was driving roughly, I don't know, 105 or so, 65 miles per hour. And after an hour and 7 minutes of drive time, I'm in electric mode right now, and I have, so EV mode, and I've got the heater going at a warm temperature. So literally what I have is set it to 24. It is quite warm in here. The thing to keep in mind is that I did use gas along the way on purpose to get it warm a lot faster, and I don't know if you just heard that, but the gas engine actually just turned on. But it is minus 18. When I was driving, it went down to about minus 23 Celsius. So it is rather cold, but it is warm in here, and the thermal pump sounds like, I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about the car. First of all, I don't know if you can see this, but there is no fog in the back. I've been driving for back and forth now for about over 2 hours, and here, let me show you. So you can tell I can see right out this window. So the windows in the back. The back, you want to see my license plate, but the back and everything else stayed very clear. I mean, it is almost minus 30 outside, and combination EV with the engine. I'm saying this because I've driven some Volts before and some other EVs and whatnot, and sometimes the heating inside just will not defrost properly inside. So this one doesn't have a problem. What I do want to show you in the front, though, is, I don't know if you could, if we'll be able to see this, but from a headlight point of view, but there is some, it looks like frost inside, which is, very, I guess, unusual, but what are you going to do? Oops. So, yeah, if you could see that, but there's definitely some frost here, and it looks like it's inside. It's inside there. Don't forget, If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up, even if it's a cold one. And of course, subscribe. We really appreciate that and it helps us out. Okay, so let's talk about driving in the snow for a minute. It has very good traction. I mean, look, I've been driving a Honda Accord just a little bit before this, and I can tell you it's night and day. This thing is very stable. So one of the wonders of driving through the winter here is, as you can tell, the roads are terrible, and it handles quite well. I mean, overall, the four-wheel drive definitely helps. The traction control does kick in quite a bit. So it is very cold. It's minus 28 Celsius out there. Very, very cold. And I was able to demonstrate what the RAV4 Prime, this is an SE. I did not actually use the heated seats or the heated steering wheel at this point. It stayed warm enough inside the cabin that I had no need for that. And I mean, to go back to the winter driving, it's a 4x4. It drives very well. I happen to have a Lexus RX as well. The Lexus RX, to be honest, is smoother, better in snow and ice. And when I say better, it's marginal, but it does feel more like a luxury SUV. So you tend to have better suspension, and you just feel the road less. So it makes a difference. This is what it looks like on the leg back home. So basically I've done, as we mentioned earlier, 86.6 kilometers, and this is where I'm starting back from. So it's pretty acceptable from a kilowatt hour point of view. I hover around the 30, which I guess is not great during the summer. I mean, it was more like 21, 20, but what are you gonna do? So the temperature definitely is still dropping. Actually, it was lower in some areas that I drove through, but that's what it looks like right now. So let's go ahead. So we just started. We're in EV mode right now. I'm going to put the heating back on and watch the EV go. And it just actually started the engine. I don't know if you heard that, but the engine started the second I put the heating on. So I'm Bob Pellerin, CTOBOB. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave us a comment below. Of course, you can visit us at www.ctobob.com, and be sure to watch all of our videos. See you in the next one.